Welcome to Whetstone Academy. This is a piece of translucent or lighter colored Ancient Ocean Jasper. And I just want to give you guys a little understanding of how these stones come prepared. So here is the back of a diamond plate, and I'm going to use it as an aluminum crayon. Very quickly, the whole stone surface will start to eat up metal. And the reason that this happens is because this steel is a lot softer than the substrate. This concept applies to any knife that you sharpen. So basically, you have a very grabby but very fine, hard material in this jasper. So it's best as a finishing stone, but if you know how to condition the surface, it actually cuts quite fast. So if I tip this angle, you'll see all the metal. And that's actually one of the perks of the translucent variety of these. And that's part of why they're a little bit more expensive, and they're also more rare. So not everybody has this tool here. I'd recommend you get one. It's the only diamond plate that I buy these days, because Atoma diamond plates with the dots pattern, they wear out. So continuous plated diamond is the way to go. Don't buy dots, don't buy the cheapy plated ones. Spend 60 bucks, get a DMT coarse. And if you don't have one, there's actually another trick you can use to open the pores up again of a stone. So normally this wouldn't happen until many sharpening sessions with steel, but since I intentionally rubbed metal across the whole surface, you get a very quick idea of the cutting action. If I take a smaller piece of the same hardness of material, I don't really scratch it, but I get like a burnishing action. So you can see that that's freeing up some of that steel, but it's not really changing the flatness of this stone. So if you spend a little bit of time, you can really quickly just clean up the pores. And the Japanese call this technique using a nagura stone, and a tomo nagura means friend stone or matched stone. And for a lot of sharpeners, they would use a stone that's slightly softer as their slurry stone, because that would generate some mud quicker. So if you have an arsenal of softer slurry stones, you can try that. What I also really like about having a diamond plate for stone surface conditioning is that you can make a slurry pretty nicely. And with these stones, because the stone is ultra hard and ultra fine, you get a really abrasive but very fine cream when you slurry one of these stones. So that, in my opinion, is the real secret to getting the most out of your sharpening stone. Now, keep in mind, these stones, they don't dish out, so if you don't have a diamond lapping plate, no problem. All you have to do is just rub it with some sandpaper. If you want, I can send you a smaller nagura when you get a bench-sized stone. I'll include a piece. I think I'm just going to start doing that on all bench-sized orders, just so that you guys have some way to recondition the surface. And if I do it with just a piece of natural stone, it really doesn't take a horribly long amount of time. So again, let's just mark up the back of the stone. And these stones always come lapped. This is part of my testing process, is just ensuring that I get all the steel out of it, because that shows me that I've planed the surface to the same degree everywhere. And I'm using a diamond plate that's certified to be within 1/100th of being perfectly flat, I think, or maybe it's 1,000th or something ridiculous like that. So, like I was saying, you can use a piece of the same stone, and if you lift up a little and use one of these rougher corners, you'll actually notice that you can kind of target areas on the stone that still have metal. You can see that I can clean them up nicely. Now, this is not really a great way to make slurry unless you have a ton of time on your hands, because the stone is so hard that rubbing it on itself, it's cleaning up the pores, but it would take a very long time to get a solid enough slurry. So If you want, you can dress your stone like that and it'll cut really fast again. It's not that it's dished out. The resurfacing is just to free metal from the pores. So it's interesting that the stone is really a polisher, but it can cut metal very quick. So it's like a very gritty stone with its action, but very fine with its polishing ability because of its hardness. So if you tweak your performance a little bit and then wash it back off, it's after it's freshly lapped, like how the stone comes to you, you'll notice right away that it's taking metal every stroke, but it's also got a very fine action. It's just about a mirror polish that you get when you're done with this finish, once you feel your edge stick into the stone. I'm still working on taking out some of the grind lines on this knife because it was a factory one, but you can see in here we're getting closer to removing all those. So that's a little bit on surfacing techniques. It might seem a little confusing at first, but just think about it this way. This stone is way harder than steel, so it doesn't dish out. The stone is really, really fine, so it polishes metal very fine. And then the stone is more engaging when its pores are fresh and not full of metal. So a little scouring with a piece of the same stone, or a worn out diamond plate, or maybe a fine grit diamond plate, or a fine piece of sandpaper, or softer slurry stones. Those are all options that will resurface your stone. And if you happen to lap your stone with something coarse, what I would say is do it on the back side, because I send the stones flattened on both sides. This side's quite engaging and quick because it's not been sharpened on much. So this side is actually not going to polish as fine as the other side, but it's going to cut metal a lot faster. And you can maintain that just by using slightly rougher lapping. So if that clears some stuff up for you guys, drop me a comment below. If there's other questions you have about lapping and surface conditioning for sharpening stones, shoot me a message. And the reason why I love these natural stones and continue to produce so many of them is because they really stand out for their ability to last a lifetime, polish a knife from dull to sharp, and not dish out. They're also really sturdy. You'd have to try pretty hard to break one. And they come lapped perfectly flat and ready to sharpen on. So if you'd like to check out some more of my work, I'm on Facebook. We have a community group, Wild Whetstones. I'm also on YouTube, Wild Whetstones, and my website is naturalwhetstonesharpening.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace, power. Hopefully that helps you on your sharpening journey.